Atlas is like, this was a test and you failed.
No, we
Yeah, we
passed.
passed.
You thought you
We
were ready, and then I waited an extra second. Type get ye old Atlas. Well, guess what? Ye old Atlas said, "Fuck you."
But Atlas, you're not ye or old.
That's not what the ghosts in Phasmo say.
Atlas, if you're old, I am ancient.
But you are. You're
All
literally a
knowing.
fae.
It's true. You are Fae.
Wow.
I am the youngest member of the party by like a massive margin.
I'm God. Anyway, welcome to Awooters Does D&D. I hope everybody had a really good holiday. I'm your DM, who's also gay, Alice Ribbon.
And where
Uh,
can you be found on the internet?
Probably a little bit everywhere. Sometimes I open X every once in a while. Twitch.tv/EMRedfeather.
There it is. There it is.
Just kidding. You can find me at twitch.tv/AliceRibbon, where I cry and sometimes scream at things that jump out at me, but only me for some reason. You want to explain that, Lethal Company? Huh? You want to talk about that, or you're not ready to talk about that?
Yeah.
Anyway, and we're gonna go around and tell everybody who everybody is, just in case everybody forgot who everybody was. Sometimes I forget who I am. We'll talk about it later. It's fine.
What?
Ham, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at twitch.tv/little_foxy or in all of the discords all the time. Almost.
Almost.
Oh my god, an underscore?
Wow, that's insane. That's crazy.
Sad is that I can have the underscore, but I can't have the apostrophe, which is what I really want.
You may not be able to have that apostrophe, but we can all have what we want. When we ask Buns where people can find them on the internet,
Nowhere.
Also with an underscore.
I don't exist. Occasionally you can find me on Twitch lurking in people's chat. Sometimes I stream playing with my beavers at Miss_5th.
right. You know, all very
More often
casual
than
and
not-
understood.
More often than not, you find me throwing things at Yagoki Wolf.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Wow, wouldn't it be really easy if I transitioned over to Yugoki after this? But I'm not gonna. Where can people find you on the internet?
Knew that was coming. You can find me at twitch.tv/EMRedfeather. I have no idea what these people are doing in chat right now.
Why are you trying to shout out dungeons? I have to fix it.
I'm a variety streamer and I just stream whatever I feel like streaming, or I like play games, draw art, whatever. I play games with Atlas on Wednesdays. You know, it's cool. We're Whittle guys. So yeah. Yeah. So since Yugoki's distracting me,
I was gonna say, you know he loves dungeons, sometimes with dragons in them. Yagoki, where can people find you on the internet?
I can be found all over the damn place. Here on Twitch, over on YouTube, over on also the Instagram, the TikTok apps, Yogoki Wolf, everywhere you're looking. And doing the Dungeons and Dragons over on my channel as well, potentially a little bit later than usual, even though we haven't been in a while for Saturday. Also doing some Baldur's Gate 3 with some furry friends in the morning on Saturday.
Wow, that's amazing. He also loves dungeons, but only if they have a sunroof. Vlad, where can people find you on the internet?
They can usually find me lurking outside, staring up into the sun. Most likely burning out my retinas, but if I'm not there, I'm usually lurking in everyone's Twitch chat here.
Perfect. Amazing. Wonderful. And you can find all of us at our Discord, the Awooters Stream Team Discord. Oh,
Oh my
whoa,
God,
look
we
at
have a
that. Do you see that
Discord?
casual plug? Whoa, that's insane. I'm insane. I'm a leader. I'm an understander. Give me your wallet. Anyway, last time we left off, we had an amazing Christmas special. It was so amazing. Everybody was there. There was a bear there, but our bear became a Vlad now. So, transitions.
You know what? If memory serves, we had a bear for both the Christmas special and the Halloween special.
Sometimes you just can't bear it, But yes, no, and he was a very cool bear both times.
What?
I don't believe you.
It's okay. I never believe me either. So you join the club. Uh, but before that Christmas special, we had some cool moments where we found out some casual things. Where Mace got to talk to Mommy. We're gonna call
Yep.
it Mommy now. Hell yeah. And learned
He will never
maybe
say that,
some.
but
We learned some possibilities about himself and Buns, and we also had a air quotes invitation to a meeting of the current awoken gods for their discussion about what to do about the death of Artemis.
We were totally
at the-
invited to. 110%.
Air quotes invited. At the end of the Christmas episode, you kind of got thrown directly into the meeting place for these gods, and that's where we
One of
left
these
off
days,
with.
we might travel without getting teleported to an alternate time or dimension.
Well, as
Really, I'm
the
not complaining.
as the god of this session, good luck.
Someone
But
hates
you all.
travel montages.
you know what? Traveling
Okay,
can
look,
be fun.
there's a montage for everything, but travel montages, they're not cutting it. You all awaken in a beautiful room, clad in just like there's like expensive looking sheets on this large bed, windows to this almost what looks like a never-ending green lush field with a breeze blowing over it. It's nighttime outside. It's all overwhelmingly perfect feeling and looking. Almost too perfect. Like, it feels like this is definitely not a real place, but more a place invented for a purpose. But you all awaken in this room, this beautifully decorated room with soft carpeted floors, and there's a vanity in the corner, a desk for writing. It's just a very well put together room. And kind of a laying on the bed, book open, is a tiny sleeping Denier, as you all are kind of thrust into the room from your previous plane of existence.
I go to lay on the bed and go to sleep because we haven't had a good night's sleep.
Yep. Buns will go curl up around Denier. Must keep the little god safe.
Because if memory recalls, we went to sleep and did
then
not
woke up
finish
there.
sleeping. We woke up in the woods, fought multiple enemies, and then were thrust through time here.
Space.
Yes.
So I was cold. I am tired.
Yes.
That tracks. So
Yeah.
you on a regular basis, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
IRL.
This is making it easy to roleplay.
What can I say? I really know how to set the scene.
when Mace comes through the portal, he's going to take in all of this and just give a good look around. Is there anyone else here? Are there any? Where's the door to this room or this place? Did Kronos follow us? Is he in a different room? Kind of trying to get the lay of the land.
When you came through the portal, Kronos had already left. There is a large, once again, just a large, overly decorated, kind of has like gold, like leafing all over it, door. It is closed. And then there's nobody extra in the room. It is just you and your friends. And Denier.
Alright, Mace will go over and
Join the
the door?
cuddle puddle.
and
You're
check
gonna
the door.
Okay. Are you just giving it a look over? Are you checking for something specifically?
Just see if it's locked.
It's not locked.
Okay. Take a once over on the group before poking my head out.
Buns
Uh,
looks fucked up.
Like hair poofed everywhere.
No, she's bloody and battered and beaten.
Oh,
Well,
oh,
we were given reverse time before we left.
Yeah, so upon entering the space, you are no longer battered or bruised.
Through Kronos's
Yeah,
will,
Kronos
we were.
reversed our time.
He basically gave us the effect of a long rest without the enjoyment of sleeping.
Yes.
Without the enjoyment of that is a curse.
That is that is actually what happened though. You all have had the effects of a long rest but did not sleep.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Buns
is so tired.
I was gonna say
Uh,
Suo is definitely like, no, I need to emotionally process this.
Join the cuddle
Fun-
puddle.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Just
Don't
like-
worry about that. So you hold on to that thought for a brief second. Mace, you're checking the hallway.
Yes.
Well, while she's
It's
still can, Suo is joining that cuddle puddle.
well, actually, something's gonna happen to Suo in a second. I just need to finish this description. You can look forward to that. You just think on that for a bit. Mace, the hallway is kind of the same grand, like gold and just like overly decorated, kind of high end beauty as the rest of the like it matches the room's aesthetic through and through. But it is an empty hallway. It is just a very large hallway. There are doors lining both sides of the hallway, about 4 doors down. And you guys seem to be at the end of this hallway.
No one out there. No one wandering.
Nope. The hallway is empty.
Okay. Pull head back in and close the door.
All right.
Left.
Suo,
Uh-huh.
as you kind of start to adjust to having just, got flung back to the present time, a warmth rests upon your chest as your pendant kind of begins to almost hum or vibrate softly against you.
She's gonna kind of be like, huh, it's different.
And then Mace walking back from the door. Doesn't look like anyone else is here. I don't even know where here is. Although
Oh, continue.
although it feels. Does this actually like give him anything like a home feeling or anything like that?
You feel it. You feel safe and at peace. Almost as if it's a place you are returning to and not a place you are going to for the first time.
I get to feel like I've been here before.
Don't worry about it after sleeps.
Suo's gonna pick up, like, the pendant's kind of like on a long enough chain that she's gonna pick it up and look at it, like, inspect it, like, is there anything specifically going on with it?
So the familiar like rainbow glow that comes from your pendant, it's almost flickering a little bit from like its regular glow to a little bit brighter. And you hear a very faint whisper coming from inside it.
What I'm going to pay attention and listen to it?
So as you kind of lean a little bit closer, you can hear a soft woman's voice kind of whisper, "I've been here before. Be careful. Not all seem as good as they are."
I'm gonna be like, basically like turn to the group and be like, so my pendant is warning me that not everyone's gonna be as good as they appear. Kind of was my original plan, but good to know that is warranted.
I've in
Thought I'd let you
response, in response, Mace is going to cock his head, and I'm not sure what. Like, I'm getting the opposite feeling from this place.
Yeah, just a not. I guess just don't take things at face value kind of thing.
Well, as commonly good advice goes, it's valid.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of thinking. Like, it's the Fae, so, or not the Fae. Might as well be the Fae.
The necklace is, to be
Wasn't it the
fair.
Fae? Yeah, I was about to say, wasn't it the Fae King book that necklace allowed you to get into?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking of the concept of just like gods in,
Mhm.
beings that are typically fairly powerful. It's just a good idea to
Mm,
not just
Being,
willy-nilly trust
yeah,
people.
the idea
right,
of just because they're a god does not always mean that they're good.
right, yeah, okay.
Um, but if there's nothing else you'd like to do, you all may sleep peacefully. Uh,
Woo, 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 woo.
Oh
Woo,
my
woo, woo,
god.
woo, woo, woo,
Buns
woo.
is making grabby hands for Suo to come snuggle.
Oh yeah, Suo, once she's done having that conversation with Mace, she is laying down as soon as physically possible. She wants her nappy nap.
all right. So as you all kind of get your much needed rest,
Like actual rest.
Vlad, uh, Vlad, you wake in the middle of the night, and you're the only one currently awake. Mace is on his, I think, like 1 hour rest or something that he actually uses every once in a while.
Sentry mode.
Sentry
And
mode, yeah. It's still a full 8 hours, I think, but 6 hours even, I think, it
I
is.
think it's just that you're fully
Mhm.
conscious during the whole thing, question mark.
Can perceive what's around me, not necessarily do anything immediately, but have the ability to perceive.
Right. Okay. So Vlad, you are awoken. The room is dark, as it is still night, and something, a presence of some sort, calls you to the window.
This isn't the sun.
I would casually walk over to the window, carefully enough to not wake the party, but still cautiously, just to make sure I'm not being deceived by something or someone.
Right. So as you reach the window, you look out, and at first you see nothing. It's just it's that same open field with a breeze blowing through it. The night sky is bright enough that you can see fairly far. Uh, as you continue to kind of peer out the window and try and figure out what it is that is drawing you to this window, you see in the distance a woman, a beautifully tall woman with black, long hair, and her loose fitted dress is flowing in the wind as she stares at you. And you feel that familiar feeling, that same feeling from when the woman wrapped her arms around you and whispered to you about the key.
As I stand there staring out the window, I think to myself that this may be something that I should keep from the rest of the party for now, just until I can figure out more information.
Uh, as you're thinking about that, you get a soft whisper, a familiar whisper of that same woman's voice in your mind as you watch the figure who hasn't moved. And she says, "It's here. Here you'll free me. Here we'll start our journey." And she kind of fades almost like ash into the wind and is gone from your view.
I would just continue to stand there staring out the window, thinking over what she had just said, trying to not understand, but trying to figure out what she meant by that, like what is here, sort of thing.
You're just left in the silence of this room.
After a moment's consideration, Lad would look around the room, see the rest of the party all snuggled up in bed there, asleep, and he would take this chance here to sneak out into the hallway to do a little investigating himself to see what is what he can find.
Gotcha. So Mace, I saw where you posted the rest thing. You wouldn't hear anything. You would see Vlad kind of stare out the window, and then you'd see him exit the room. It wouldn't look suspicious. I mean, from your end, having just sat there, you didn't hear or see anything out of the usual.
Right. So that was actually going to be a question, I suppose, above the table. We're all in this other the time and place. Are our bodies still there? Are we like?
You all are physically in this room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have been physically moved to this
Okay,
area.
and Vlad's here with us. Got it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Mace isn't resting. He's up and he's not joining the cuddle fight in all.
Well, no, but
So
this would be in that 6 hours of inactive motionless.
right, he's not taking his sentry's rest. He's still up and about, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, then you would have.
I was just putting that there for Foxy's benefit.
Okay. Well, then you would have
Answer the question.
witnessed this kind of motion. But to you, it seemed like it happened really quick, like rather fast.
Mhm.
To Vlad, it feels like it took a while. Like he was standing there for a long time. That's how you would feel, Vlad. But Mace, having watched it happen, It almost looked like Vlad kind of stood up, walked to the window, looked outside, turned, and then left.
Spooky.
That's not creepy at all.
When has Vlad ever been creepy?
When has he not been?
Honestly, the most
Ah.
wholesome being. Let's be honest.
That's the thing, is like Vlad definitely interacts in the aspect of like super wholesome, but also at the same time with zero context, hella fucking creepy.
Mm.
It's one of those too nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Looks like would kill you is actually a cinnamon roll.
Yes.
Just me.
Looks like a
Mace-
cinnamon roll would actually kill you is definitely buns.
Oh wait, you right.
What?
What?
You mean to
Le-
tell me that somehow Buns is the polar opposite to Vlad? What?
um, Giving a second of thought, Mace would recall that if needed, Buns can reach out to him to come back, so he would fully follow at a uh, scouting pace and stay stealthed behind Vlad.
Gotcha. So Vlad, as you exit the room, the hallway is lit. It looks like it's lit with some magic glowstones on the wall in place of torches. So the hallway is well lit. And as you exit the room into this hallway, and you kind of give a brief pause for a second and adjust to the difference in lighting, you notice the tail end of that kind of flowy dress as it turns a corner at the other end of the hall.
Quickly and cautiously, I would chase after whatever that whatever it may be that is trying to entice me to follow it down the hallway there.
All right. As you kind of move down the hallway and you turn that corner, you're met with once again at the other end of this hallway. It does a similar thing, but this time turns. It goes about halfway down the hall and turns right. So you once again see just that end of the wisp of somebody's dress. And assumedly, you're going to continue to follow it, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So you kind of continue to follow this as it takes you in just like what feels like intentional, but very like quick motions around this place. Even to the point where Mace, you're having to like kind of, at moments, you're kind of getting the same effect, but with Vlad and his armor as he kind of moves around because the intent and like quickness of following. Soon you kind of reach this doorway, and it creaks open slowly, and you're met with a long staircase going just very, very steep downward.
I would
Like almost slide, or
Yeah, it's like think I don't know if this reference will make sense to any of you, but I feel like for some reason this reference will fully click with M. I don't know why it'll fully click with M, but that's just what my brain says. You know those like old style like maid and butler staircases in like old houses that were like super dangerous?
yes.
It's like
The
that steep.
okay.
So like
The
very much not meant for like safe traveling, but like it could get the job done if you're okay with losing a maid or a butler here and there.
It's meant to be quick versus effective.
Yeah, and take up as little space as possible almost is the intention behind those, but this is more just a very steep incline.
Well, with Ladinsky's gracefulness, he's going to descend the stairs as quickly as he possibly can.
All right.
Sad because it's true.
As you kind of reach the bottom of the steps, there's a little bit of a hallway, and as you kind of put your foot down on that last step, the hallway lights up with an eerie, like, the glow is not warm and soft like the hallways upstairs. This glow is almost, it sheds almost gray light in this entire place, so everything almost looks black and white because the light that's being shed on the walls is, it's illuminating everything in gray. And at the end is a door, and the door kind of looks old and maybe like it's falling apart slightly, and there's a symbol on it, but part of it is covered in like dust and cobwebs.
I'm going to approach the door, and I'm going to wipe away the dust and cobwebs to see if I recognize the symbol that's on the door.
The symbol on the door is of a woman holding the moon.
Ladinsky would stand there racking his brain as hard as he could to try to remember anything about a woman holding the moon from his past journeys, but nothing comes to mind.
Uh, as you kind of stand there thinking, Mace, as you kind of catch up a little bit from that trail behind, you see Vlad standing in a warm lit uh, hallway. It's not gray to you. It's the same light as the hallways upstairs. And you perceive Vlad as just standing in front of a regular stone wall with no door.
Well, I've seen him do stranger things.
Heckin' true.
We'll get a bit closer, but they'll stay hidden behind like a wall clock or something. Like trying to stay out of sight, but maybe get a bit closer.
All right. Vlad, you're kind of racking your brain. You're still kind of in this gray illumination, and the door is still in front of you. And you can kind of feel through some of the kind of deteriorated cracks and broken wood, a cool breeze kind of blows out and brushes against you. And it has like this odor of old books and worn out carpets and tables and things that have been sitting unattended for what feels like probably years.
I'm gonna take a careful look at the door and see if there's a way to open it in some way, or even get a better look inside, possibly.
There's a handle on the door. There's no like hole for a key or anything, so there's just the knob on this door.
With a slight moments of hesitation there, I'll reach out and grab the handle on the doorway there and open it up carefully and slowly, just make sure there's nothing lurking inside waiting for me.
You're met with a very large but empty room. It's kind of lit by the light of the moon coming in through one of the windows, and the curtains kind of blow in the breeze. You can assume that this window being open is the breeze you felt through the somewhat broken door. Mace, as you're standing there, to you it seems as though Vlad is just still standing there, lost in thought. He hasn't really moved.
You mean his usual Vlad self?
But there's
Yep.
no sun.
Seeing that he's been standing there for an odd amount of time, even for Vlad, walk up behind him and I give him a tap on the shoulder.
Vlad, you feel a tap on your shoulder.
Out of pure instinct for being a soldier and being completely unaware of my surroundings, I immediately withdraw my warhammer and I turn to face whoever's behind me in a ready battle stance, just to realize it's Mace.
Yes. So as you kind of turn and draw your weapon, everything for you changes, and you're now in a warmly lit hallway. And you are it's no longer gray for you, and you're met face to face with Mace, and you no longer feel a breeze behind you. Now, real quick, before we continue that interaction, in a separate part, back in the room, Suo, you're resting peacefully, cuddled up and snuggled in a warm bed.
Uh-huh.
Now, this is slightly before. So, around, a couple minutes before the Vlad kind of snaps out of this.
So after he leaves
You-
the room,
Mm-hmm.
but before.
start-
Okay. Cool.
In your dream and in your mind, you hear what sounds like a frantic whisper of a familiar woman's voice, the same voice from the pendant. And it gets closer and closer and closer. And then the whisper stops for a second. Before you hear a scream from this voice that says, "Don't let him open the door!"
Suo is going to bolt like full horror movie after a nightmare, sit up in bed, like just like what?
You're greeted with a dark room. Everybody's asleep, but you are immediately aware that Vlad and Mace are missing.
I'm gonna like pat the bed and just be like, as soon as I find Buns, just like patting her, like, I don't know where Mace is. I don't know where Mace is, and the lady in the necklace told me not to let him open the door, and I feel like we have to go find Mace. And Blood.
Yeah.
And I'm just
I'll send a message.
I'm gonna
to
get up and
Mace. Where are you?
I'm gonna get up and open the door and peek out the door.
As you open that door and you peek out it, the necklace starts to vibrate intently, and you almost feel a tug at your neck that pulls in the direction down the hallway.
Guess I'll follow it.
Follow Suo.
You
I
guys
imagine that
reach.
Buns is like full like sleepy kid, like dragging Blanky around with him. Like,
That one, yes.
scrubbing eyeballs, like
No.
"Oh,
Where
yeah."
she's dragging Denier by the arm.
Oh,
Denier at this point has just kind of like he's like a ragdoll slumped over your shoulder and just been like, just take me away. It's fine. Because you guys, so Suo, you follow the direction of the pool, and you're greeted with that same top of the staircase.
Does
But
Mace get
because
my
of
message?
so yes.
Or is he too far away?
So you get the sensation that it was sent, but you did not get a response. And Mace, you know that you never heard anything. As you reach that same top of the staircase, that same steep stairs from before that Vlad and Mace found, you kind of you feel this necklace tug you really hard before just falling limp against your chest. And you hear the sound of that familiar sound of armor turning. I'll have to get rid of this. That familiar sound of armor turning and like weapons being drawn at the bottom of this staircase.
Can I see the bottom of the staircase?
No, it's so steep and far down that it's really dark, but you can see a faint glow at the bottom, but you can't make anything out. You just know that there's a light on at the bottom.
I'm gonna start like, you know how like you do that weird like skip thing when you're going down the stairs quickly?
The
Yeah.
side step.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that and just being like, I hear weapons getting drawn. Like,
Would
I
they,
hear
if
weapons.
they're in earshot of that, would they hear Mace's whoa, hey, whoa, hey, big guy.
Yes, you would also hear that.
Guys? But like, hello?
Mace
What
and
did-
Vlad,
what
you can now hear
did-
Suo and the light taps of Bun's feet as they descend the stairs behind you. Vlad, it kind of takes you a second. It almost feels like you were just suddenly woken up from a really, really deep sleep.
Something about not opening the door.
Yeah,
Can we open any doors?
is someone opening a door?
Oh, what we talking about? The opening door? What door? Wait, what am I doing here? Where am I?
I don't know, but Necklace Lady told me that somebody was opening a door and I shouldn't let that happen. And then I woke up and you guys were not there, so.
I was trailing behind our friend, and Mace will not break eye contact with Vladimsky this entire time while the mace is still raised in his direction. Um, um, uh, following our friend here, he seemed to be walking of his own accord until he came to this wall. And he was staring at it for an awfully long time. And I tapped him on the shoulder. And now I have a warhammer in my face.
Oh, yes, sorry about that. It's just forced habit, you know. Long time on front lines, you get jumpy when someone wakes you in the middle of night. And
Understandable.
and with that, Vladinsky would tuck away his warhammer.
Understandable, my friend. Not faulting you for it in the slightest.
Suo, for a moment, you feel another vibration of your pendant, and you hear a soft whisper, and you get the idea that it wants to tell you something. And before we do that, Ham,
Yes.
Ham, you are you've kind of slept through all of this, but something finally stirs you in your rest, and it's the sound of a rather large book that you're familiar with being slammed onto a table, the same weight and thickness as your special cookbook, and you can hear the sound of pages turning.
My mouth starts watering and I go to read my book.
You see as the book flips through multiple pages, and you get the aroma of a couple different things you've cooked before. As the book finally opens and sits still, you see as the book itself almost starts to write in in itself as the words, "The Night Mother's Feast." A description underneath it reads, "A dinner I hoped to never make."
Say that again?
It reads, "The Night Mother's Feast," and a description underneath the title of this recipe reads, "A dinner I never hoped to make."
I'm gonna thumb through the ingredients.
So the first ingredient the first ingredient is weird because the first ingredient says a room full of friends. The second ingredient listed is joy. The third ingredient listed is fear. The fourth
Okay.
ingredient listed is the key.
Ooh. Hmm. Hmm.
Oh
I have all
no.
those ingredients.
Suo,
Hmm.
assumedly you'll lift the pendant, yes?
Yeah, she's probably gonna like bring it to her ear. Like, I don't. Is this now a phone? Like, I am confused.
As you kind of hold it to your ear, that same woman's voice whispers to you, "It's too late. She's here."
Who?
An uninvited guest. And then it stops vibrating and it goes silent.
Well, that's fun. Apparently, we have an uninvited guest.
I mean, isn't that kind of us?
Well, after a
No, I don't
fashion,
think
we
so.
were invited. I mean, we aren't here maliciously or against the other participants' will, right?
You would remember that you guys were allowed to go. There was
Oh no,
not, you weren't invited. Right.
yeah, that wasn't a question to the DM. That was Mace's. There was a question mark to the group. It's like right, that the situation is my understanding.
You kind of hear a soft little groggy, well, this is not bed. Why are we not in bed? Where are we? As Denier kind of like starts to raise his head and rub his eyes.
Hey, Dee. So for
What?
like for one of these things this meeting thing, is there anyone
Mm-hmm.
in particular who would be considered an uninvited guest?
I'm sure there's a lot of people that shouldn't attend the meeting.
It's a she. And
A she?
something about not opening a door?
Not opening a door. Who? Wait, what? Wait, how do you know that? You're not supposed to know that. Why do you. Wait. Where are we?
Well, I'm assuming we're at the like guest rooms for where the meeting's taking place.
He kind of looks around and he goes,
Time brought us here.
"We're at the. Oh, well, yes, but where specifically are we? We're not in
I
the
don't
room."
No, we went down the hall and down some stairs.
Oh, well. He kind of like shakes his head and looks around.
Is
We're not
it,
we're not supposed to be here. Wait, how did you get here?
Is there a door
Oh,
here
the
that's
door
not
was
supposed to be
open.
opened?
No, of course not. That's ridiculous. We should go.
Again. Hey D, is there something about a door that shouldn't be opened? Or that there's a she that would not be invited? Are we about to have a Maleficent situation here? Because I'm really not down to be cursed.
He kind of looks at you and he goes, in a half-hearted like little. You can tell just having spent time with D that he seems very off, and he just kind of looks at you and gives you an almost forced smile, and he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. You're being ridiculous. It's late. We're just tired. We should go back to bed.
She's gonna give him the same smile and start nodding, like, yeah, no, I don't want to go into this blind. Please tell us what's going on. Like, I will disinfect in
And
the room if that makes you more comfortable, but please tell us what's going on.
in response to this back and forth, Mace is going to look around and wait, where's Ham?
We left
You
him back in the room?
Oh, you left Ham alone?
And
Yeah.
with
Somehow
with that inkling of concern in Dee's voice, he's gonna sprint. He's gonna bolt off into toward back toward the room.
Alright guys, come on.
As everybody starts to leave, Vlad, you are the last to leave. And as you
Oh,
kind
no,
of
no, no.
make
I'm hurting. Mom mode has been activated. We are hurting everybody.
Gotcha.
Okay? This is not I'm following after Mace. This is
Got
no, my children. We're going now.
You gotta grab
Uh,
all the cats by the
well,
scruff of the neck and
Right.
drag them.
Vlad, as you kind of get herded to the end of the stairs, there's a brief second where you feel that familiar breeze from that almost dreamlike state from before come kind of brush behind you.
As that happens, Vlad would get the equivalent of goosebumps on his skin if he had any, and then continues on with everyone else, um, with that in the back of his mind, wondering what was that all about,
Do
and
you shiver?
does it have to do?
Like, does it cause you to shiver?
Yeah, I guess you could say it causes Bladinsky to shiver a little bit.
Do I notice that?
I would say as you're ushering him out, it wouldn't be too hard for you to notice, considering that you're fairly close to be shooing.
Right. Um. So Suo's gonna kind of be like, just kind of like look at him like, you good? I don't think I've ever
Yes.
seen you shiver before. Like,
Oh, it's nothing to worry about. It happens from time to time. You know, lack of sun. It's pretty dark and cold down here. I'm not used to it.
yeah, I get that. I get cold pretty easily, so I get that. That sounds logical.
You are wrapped in a blanket half the time.
Right. Like that I'm like, yeah, it's cold. I get that. That makes sense. So with that, she's gonna take that at face value.
All right. As you kind of shoo everybody away and you kind of make your way back to the room, uh, what is Ham doing when everybody kind of arrives in the room?
And when Mace gets there, he is throwing that door open, like busting in.
Boom, baby.
I'd find a little quill and essentially try to spark up a conversation with the recipe. Like, some of them practical questions, sort of like writing joy in what form, or that kind of stuff. And then also like why not cook this particular meal? And just write those questions down and see if I can get a response from the book, which is not something I've ever tried before.
So upon writing, so which question do you write first?
Probably more questions about the individual ingredients. Like,
Well, I mean, literally, what is your first
literally, it'd be like bottled joy or powdered.
question? As you write that, the space underneath it fills with fresh from the source.
Processing instructions? Question mark.
None.
So it was room full of friends, key, joy, and
So it was room full of friends, joy, fear, and the key.
fear.
In that order.
Interesting. What will this cook?
The response is doom.
Does this recipe need to be cooked?
Not traditionally.
Goodbye.
The room the door to the room kind of flings open as you see Mace kind of like rush in.
Remember, kids, always say goodbye to the tarot. Tarot, the book, the Ouija board, whatever the heck you're using. Say goodbye. Close that connection. Close it. Died too many times. Stupid cursed tongues.
So anyway, Mace enters the
Welcome.
room.
Did you find the missing people? Oh, you were one of them. Where were you at? Where's everyone else?
Behind me. What are you doing?
Waiting for you guys, reviewing my recipes.
If his eyes could squint, they would. Any new ones?
Always.
Most recent.
Do you know how to distill fear and joy? The recipe book seems to be giving me a lot of abstract concepts of late. I know that I've got a piece of death. I still need to find some life.
Why do I have a feeling that's about when Buns walks in?
That is roughly
Oh,
when the rest of the crew kind of would saunter through the door.
I have a feeling I shouldn't answer this question.
Joy?
You know the answer? This book didn't give me a process for distilling fear and joy directly from the source.
Distilling.
Even if
Those
I did, I don't think I would want to answer.
Why? Why do you want to do those things?
That's part of the recipe.
Well,
Apparently, it creates doom, but it's a very important recipe because the book came up with it on its own. I'm going to give it a scratch and sniff.
You are greeted with no scent this time.
This thing doesn't smell like anything. Even the recipe for life and death tasted like something.
Right. Because it's the smell of doom is nothing.
Well, you'd think that the death part would smell like nothing, but that's a cycle. Apparently, maybe that's it. Maybe this is something to break the cycle.
Or something. What did it say?
Room full of friends, joy,
No, but before
fear.
that. Most recipes come with a basic description.
The recipe I never wanted to make.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I asked. It said, I don't know.
Did you ask that one? Because
No, I didn't.
okay.
Shh, I'm covering my tracks. I got distracted.
Sorry.
Yes,
Yeah,
he would definitely. Oh, actually, no. Mace wouldn't even think about asking the book anything. He hadn't. Him wouldn't have mentioned doing that before. Um. Da, 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 da.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
There would
That
be an
doesn't-
insight check though.
That doesn't sound
Trying to
like-
figure out intent with recreation.
So if you would like to insight check Ham, then you will roll that, and Ham, you will roll either a persuasion or deception. You don't have to say which to counter.
I get to use my cool new thing. Okay.
Mace got a 14.
I got a 5.
All right. Well, are you being? How honest are you being with Mace?
Passive aggressive, I don't really care about his questioning. And it's pretty obvious. Because it doesn't sound like he wants to cook the recipe. So he's not invested in my passions. And I just think that's not okay.
So you're
Now-
getting very much half-ass conversation, essentially.
Now,
Um,
my friend,
um,
Ham, I am all for journeying and finding new adventures in recipes and cooking. But the ingredients you are listing are pieces of living, breathing life. And
Yeah.
you will wind up, I know you don't care,
Well, I
but
mean,
those
most things that
people
you cook were
will.
living, breathing life at one point.
Correct, but animals versus sentient, and he points at Buns, people.
Kind of squinty eyes, like he's trying to puzzle through what point you're trying to make.
Technically, the animals are sentient too. If you have speak with animals, just throwing it out there. Anyway,
I don't think that's.
Oh, and then the last ingredient was a key, for anyone curious.
I don't know that that's a good recipe to make.
There had to have been reason why this person didn't want to make this recipe.
As you all are having that discussion, Denier kind of was off doing something in the corner, and he kind of just floats over to Buns, and without saying a word, he slides Buns a piece of paper.
Buns takes the paper and opens it.
Inside is a well-drawn symbol, and the instructions just simply say on the paper, seal the window, draw the symbol. Say nothing.
Buns goes over to the window, makes sure it's closed, sealed. I don't. Mmm. 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 I don't. Nope. Knock doesn't work. I need magic lock.
Well, the symbol, it's implied that he wants you to use the symbol, like draw the symbol on the window.
Yeah, she does. And if there's any verbal thing, she'll mutter that.
It specifically says say nothing.
No verbals.
No verbal component.
Just material and somatic.
Yep, she draws the symbol, probably with her magic quill on the window. And then looks to Denier.
He looks at you and just kind of nods for a second before looking back at the group and listening to the rest of your conversation. His face doesn't really change. He looks very serious.
Bunzel scribble on the bottom of the paper. Door 2? Passes it to.
He looks at her and just shakes his head no.
She just nods. And tucks the thing into her hood.
You can clean it up later.
Eh, she'll take it out later.
Why does it sound like Buns and Denier have having a private conversation in the DMs? Kind of like Denier just kind of slipped in, like, "Hey, you need this."
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Mace would continue. Not my point, Suo. The thing I'm trying to get at is ingredients for a recipe have lived their life and passed on in the cycle or have been hunted for needs of families. Joy and fear are emotions, and they are just as much needed for everyday life.
There's
And
nothing saying that you can't. So, I mean, emotions aren't a finite resource.
they're ingredients used by hags.
Do I know this? Out of character, I did not know this. In character, would Suo have known that?
You would know that these ingredients could be used for evil things, and hags are the type of creature that would obviously they're
evil.
known for not being great.
Right.
Yes.
Suo, when you say that, she's just gonna be like, "Oh, that's right. Good point. Good point. Look, I was just saying, like, don't get me wrong. Like the look, if the magic book that pops out recipes says I wouldn't make this, I'm not gonna make the recipe. That's just me. If the book itself is like, not a good idea, you know what? Fair. I don't know why you gave it to me, but fair.
What if we need it though? What if
Then we have it. But maybe we just don't use it until we know whether or not we need it?
All right.
Like,
We're
there's
not-
no reason to, like, willy-nilly be doing this. Especially since we don't know what's going on with other things right now anyway, as it is. Why we got woken up in the middle of the night. Because Vlad was sleepwalking.
That all aside,
Mace, can you move the bed?
can I?
Just up against the window or something. Just move it out of the way. I need to do something.
It would break eye contact with Ham finally, and look to Buns. Move the bed, and then just
Just me.
look at the bed. And does it look heavy? Is it like solid wood, or is it just like a metal frame?
It's a very it's a very, very large, solid, like made of probably oak, very heavy bed. And it's large, big enough to fit your entire party large.
Man, I
You-
want me one of them beds.
You want me to move that?
As that discussion is happening, Suo,
Huh?
in front of you floats Denier, still having a stern face, and he just looks you dead in the eyes, and he
Hold
pulls
on.
out.
Pause. When you say in front of me floats Denier, is this one of those things where he's over hanging out with Buns, and then all of a sudden he fucking Tinkerbell floats in front of my face to get like eye level with me to be like, hey,
Yeah,
is that
he
what's
has
happening?
floated.
Okay.
Yeah, he
cool,
has
cool.
floated in front of you,
Okay.
and he
I just
looks
wanted to
at
make
you.
sure that what I was picturing was what was happening.
And silently he pulls out a black stick of what looks like charcoal, and he just kind of reaches out and wordlessly and with what you can view and see as very serious and very intentional, without words, he just begins to mark on your forehead and draws a pattern.
I didn't realize that it was Lent, but okay. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
He
No,
he kind of
she's really just gonna be like, okay. She's gonna roll with it. Very confused, but roll with it.
he then reaches out and he holds out his hand, the one not holding chalk, and you get the idea that he's requesting your hand.
She holds out the hand he's requesting. Again,
On
very confused.
on one hand, he draws a symbol on the back. It's a very intricate and detailed symbol with multiple different runes and things, symbolizing it. As he lets that hand go and reaches for another one, if you kind of review your hand, it's hard to make out the symbols because some of them are very, very old, but you can roughly get the idea that this is something to do with unison, bringing things together, the sun, the moon, and the stars. And he begins to write and draw a symbol on your opposite hand.
And this is on the outside of the hand because she does have symbols on the inside of
Oh
it.
yeah, I was gonna say the back of
Yes,
my hand.
this is
Yeah.
on the back of your hands.
Okay.
Okay.
With a sigh, Buns fixes the covers, climbs up on it, pulls out the piece of chalk she always has, because every wizard has chalk, and just starts drawing on the bed covers with the chalk.
So I have a question.
An in character or out of character question?
Out of character question.
Uh-huh.
So I was in the room when Ham was describing to Mace the ingredients, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm trying to think because I don't think she would have noticed Buns. So I guess Sua would be like, so are we helping with the recipe or not?
He looks at you and he doesn't move his mouth. He finishes the symbol, lets your hand go, and then points to your chest where your locket sits.
Seeing Buns start to draw on the bed, Mace's reaction would be, I wasn't against trying to move it. Is that gonna? What are you doing?
Suo is going to mime like a finger in front of her mouth and then point to her necklace. Like shushing motion, like questioned face, shushing motion, points to the necklace.
He nods.
And then she's gonna be like, she's gonna like mouth like, why?
He kind of looks around and then he grabs a piece of paper and begins to scribble down on it again. And he
Mhm.
slides you the piece of paper.
Are you gonna type it to me or are you gonna say it out loud?
I'm going to type it to you real quick.
Cool. I just wanted to
Meanwhile,
know, where am I expecting this information?
meanwhile, Mace is just looking around, really confused, recognizing that runes of some kind are being drawn, but not really knowing anything of what's going on.
Yeah. Suo is kind of probably about to have an existential crisis, so that's cool.
Again.
Yeah.
third one
That's
this
the fourth one
week.
this week. Oh, third? I lost count.
Literally this week too. In-game week.
Well,
We were on the same wavelength for that one.
now this one's related to her necklace because earlier she found out she might be the guardian or whatever.
Right. But yeah, it's only the third one, not the fourth. It was only like finding out potential self-identification.
I guess I was
Finding
thinking
out-
the fourth one was that you're actually not a redhead.
Oh,
Denier kind of eyes you as you read it, and then after you're done reading and you kind of look back at him, he shakes his head and then glances over to Vlad before glancing back at Suo.
She's just kind of like, the expression is going to be, huh. And that's I don't know how else to describe that expression.
He kind
But
of
she'll nod, but she's just kind of like, just like that. Interesting, huh?
he
Kinda
kind
face.
of turns and looks at Buns to see where Buns is at on drawing the symbol.
She's
Keeping in mind
probably got
it's a
one-
fairly complicated symbol.
Right. She's still working quickly. She will not finish the final stroke until Dee nods at her or gives her indication to finish it.
As he sees that she's almost finished, he doesn't walk, he floats over to Vlad and he looks at Vlad and he says, hello, metal man.
Hello, little one.
We're friends, yes?
Why, of course, that's what I would naturally assume.
Good. You trust me, yes?
Yes, if I did not trust you, I don't think I'd be here at this moment.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. And I would much appreciate you remembering that. I apologize. It could become unpleasant. And he kind of turns and looks at Buns and nods.
She makes that final stroke.
As you do, the symbol on the bed begins to warm underneath you. And you can kind of see as where you started scratching the symbols, it slowly begins to light, almost as if it's loading from that side and working its way around the symbol. Similarly, Suo, from right to left, as the symbol on the bed begins to glow more and more, the symbols on you begin to slowly glow, starting from right to left.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I already forgot that he put symbols on me. So I was like, what? Oh, right.
Right.
For a moment, you are confused by the sensation, and then briefly you feel the pendant on your chest begins to rise and lift and float in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And the glowing runes begin to fly off of your body and into the pendant.
Mhm.
The symbol begins to fully complete. And Vlad, you suddenly feel a strange panic take over you. A panic that's not your own, a panic that resonates from that key that hangs around your neck. And you suddenly feel the urge to stop whatever is happening here.
To help subside the panic, Vlad would, um, without hesitation, reach for his warhammer again and start trying to make his way towards the bed, to try to smash the bed, to try to break up the symbol there.
Denier turns to Mace. Stop him. You have to stop him.
Spear tackle.
Spear tackle.
So I need you guys to make contesting the grapple checks, please.
Guys, it's getting spicy.
Actually, you know what? Rage and
I was gonna
spear
say
tackle.
you're tackling the only person in the group that matches your size.
The symbol is getting closer and closer to finishing. So in front of you begins to become this outline where the runes start to take shape into a very large and graceful figure with large butterfly style wings.
Do I
Boom.
feel like this could be the person in my necklace?
You get the feeling that this isn't them directly, but they're being given a temporary physical form. So it's not as if
Not
they're
them.
before you, but a piece of them is taking form in front of you.
Gotcha. That's cool. Suo will be very excited about this.
He looks over to Buns, Denier does, and he kind of eyes her and he goes, I don't want to ask too much, but could you please do me a favor? Could you please pour some spell slots into that?
Buns will pour all 3 of her second level spell slots into it.
You see as the symbol begins to rush to finish a bit more. Mace, you're barely holding on to Vlad. Vlad, you are fighting very strong, but Mace is just holding you back as you attempt even harder to escape. And you can you begin to hear the whisper of a woman's voice, a familiar woman's voice, the one that whispers to you often now, as she says, Stop them right now.
With that being said, Vladinsky would let out just a loud war cry and continue to struggle against Mace's grip, trying everything he possibly can to break out.
In response to the war cry, Mace will hang in there. I don't know what's going on either, but we need to let this finish. Think of the paper. Think of your friend Paper.
As the symbol,
yes.
Think of the
As the
paper?
It's a long story. I explain after.
All right, I'm angry still.
Yes. Right. It's supposed to be mad. Sorry about that. I broke character.
Just imagining when they had to go back in time and the Hulk's like, I'm mad.
As the symbol finishes, the rune symbol on the bed finishes. Suo, the runes on your body finish glowing, and the figure in front of you takes a physical form as a very large, beautiful, floating woman. She has red hair, but as light hits it and reflects off of it, it reflects in rainbows. And it kind of moves as if she is floating in water as she floats in air. Her dress is long and beautiful, form-fitting at the top, but kind of flowing out at the bottom, and it kind of slowly shifts through every color you could imagine, and some you couldn't even begin to process or think of or dream of. And she leans down and she caresses your face tenderly, and you feel a warmth, a familiarity, as if this is the person you're supposed to keep safe.
I'm gonna look at her and just be like, "It's you."
Ah, yes, it's me. How I've longed to see you outside of a pendant.
Buns will curtsy.
Yes, my little buns, you've done such a good job.
Hey, Alice.
Yes,
Is
What
this
color is
my
their hair?
mom?
this is not your mom. This is not a
Okay.
Kitsune woman. This
Okay,
is
No red hair
I
to be
just
found. Got it.
wanted-
No,
No,
it
no,
was
no.
red.
She does have red hair. It just
Oh.
also has an iridescent sheen to it.
Yale.
Mhm. Buns, you immediately recognize this person. You've never met them in person, but this is the king. This is the ruler of the Fae.
My king?
Ah, Buns. Look at how big you are. Ah, I remember the day you were born. You were so small. Now look at you. You've had so much potential and magic, and the gross book man is making good use of you.
Lovely.
You hear Denier
Would
go, rude.
would Mace recognize him at all? Or
Bookman.
You have also you've never met the king. The king kind of disappeared long before Buns woke you up.
okay.
She turns and she looks back at Suo and she goes, "If only we were meeting fully in person. I'd have so many things to ask and say and questions and but yet we don't have time to play."
Would we free?
Buns, you can see underneath you as the symbol slowly begins to move backwards, the light fading, almost like a clock counting down.
More magic?
I'm afraid it doesn't work that way. It's a set amount of time, and I only have so much of it.
So what
Also,
do
we
we
won't
need
be
you
able
here for?
to do this again. If we did it again, the risk would be too high. If the pendant shatters before we figure out how to open it, forcing it open like this, I fear I might not make it.
Yes, my king.
He looks over at Vlad, or she looks over at Vlad and floats towards him. And she puts a hand out and she caresses his helmet. And a soft warmth begins to take hold of you, Vlad, as the voice begins to fade, almost as if it's being pushed further and further back. And that overwhelming rage and need to destroy the symbol fades a little bit, and you become calm and kind of regain yourself.
As he settles down, Mace does not loosen his grip at all.
Hello, sunshine.
Who might you be? I do not recognize you, but there's something about you that seems so familiar.
I'm just a friend. Somebody here to keep you a little bit safer than before. You have quite the issue, I see.
Yes, I can see, I can start to tell. It seems like there's something unnatural going on, and I don't know what it might be.
For such a little ray of sunshine, you've had quite the beast attached to you. I'm afraid the moon tries to eclipse your sun.
Interesting.
From underneath of Vlad, is he okay to be let go now?
Ah, yes, he should be good for now. I
Hearing
don't
that,
have.
oh, sorry. Hearing that, Vlad would look down, realizing Mace is grasping his way. So, oh wait, hello there. I didn't realize we were embracing in the hug in the moment there. I see we've got much closer than the last time.
You precious ray of sunshine, you.
Uh, Buns and Suo, you hear a very familiar and warm giggle as the king laughs. You would
That sounds
do
like
so
Vlad.
good in my kingdom, you strange little sunshine.
I hope to take them all there someday.
The sun
Ah.
technically never stops setting.
And I'm sure you will, and we'll have a feast and parties, and we'll play games. Ah, Buns. She kind of floats over and she rubs Bun's ear in like just the perfect spot to be comforting. You have so
And
much left to do, and your family. I only imagine they miss you so.
I have this. And Buns will pull out the tuning fork.
The forest key.
Yeah.
Ah, the key. Ah, it looks well, it looks better now than when I left it.
Are you sitting here and
So-
telling me that we have a room full of friends? We just had fear. We now have a little bit of joy, and we have a key.
We have 2 keys, technically.
we have two
There's two
keys.
Just.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I was there. I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna say it.
Yeah.
Denier kind of floats over to Suo and puts his hand over your mouth, and he just shakes his head. Do not speak. Words have power here. Do not speak the
That was out of
ingredients.
character, by the way.
Oh, okay.
If that
Okay.
helps.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
I,
gotcha.
I
I was.
assumed that
I
it was, which is why I didn't bother reacting.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Ham is kind of living in the moment. He's just appreciating the spectacle of all of this, having
This-
zero context for any of it.
Will this set you free, my king?
I'm afraid not.
Kind of like he got flash mobbed by the drama club.
But keep it safe and hold it tight, because that is the key to my throne. And one day I'd like to go back.
Of course, my king. And she tucks it back into her robe.
And
Me out of character. What?
with
Okay.
the realization that Vlad no longer needs restraint, Mace's claws at this point will release.
Ah, yes. She looks down at the bed and sees that the symbol is about a quarter of the way gone now. So she's already lost a quarter of the time she has left with you all. And she turns and she goes, Ah, I'd love to say all of the many things I've been thinking and witnessing and seeing about you all as I've spent so much time with you. Responses I could never give, giggles I could never fully give. The food I wish I could try. And she looks at Ham and she grins.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a good chef.
I've heard. I
Perhaps
will
when
have to
you're free-
try.
When you're free, I'll bring him. And he can cook for
Good.
you.
Good. I will give you everything you've ever wanted, Mr. Huck, if you can just give me a pleasant and amazing meal.
I open up my notebook And I write it down, and I'm like, He gives the odd chuckle, but he muses to himself. And he does write down, what was it? The pleasant meal.
Yes, her request was that when she is free, she will give you anything you need in exchange for a pleasant meal.
Hmm. Well, I'll get right on that.
Good. She
Just written
floats
in on
over
a
to
blank page inside of the book.
Vlad and she looks at him and she goes, "Unfortunately, I cannot press it down for long. I'd say that the time you have before she returns to try again, no longer than 30 days." Honestly, it's impressive that I got you 30 days. It took an entire pantheon to keep her sealed.
Who is she?
You see as she goes to answer your question, but no words come out. And Denier looks over everybody and he just says, "We're not allowed to speak of her. It has been forbidden and the words have been taken."
Does that mean you can write of her?
No.
Damn it.
To be fair, it's a miracle that even that book could say anything in relation to her.
Um,
We're not allowed to speak of her, and our knowledge is kept slim. Because even if one of us were to betray another and release her, everything would come to an end.
Cool.
um,
Feels very
so we need to keep Vlad safe too?
The king turns and looks at Buns, and then looks at Suo. "Oh, my royal guard, how many things I must make requests of. I have already burdened you with my freedom, but dare I burden you with another task?"
From underneath Vlad, Mace will, if it's the same, I'd be helping them with that task.
"Ah, yes, but you are of a different guard. I make this request of my guard."
Fair point.
If Dee will let me.
"Ah, you silly little bun. You are of his guard." And she turns and she looks at Suo. "I know I ask much, but if I may make one request."
yes.
"O great guard of the King of the Fae, will you keep them safe? The ones in this room and the ones yet to come. Will you guard me and also them?"
So Suo, like, she's very much so gonna like kind of shift awkwardly because she's really kind of just embarrassed about being put on the spot like this. Like, I mean, yeah.
"Good. I'm glad. Is there anything that you, guard, request of me, your king?"
uh, out of character. Head empty.
Fair, both in and
Fair.
out of character.
Fair. Yes, 100% across the table. Fair.
A god just asked me if there was anything that I wanted, and I'm like, loading symbol.
404, brain not found.
Yeah, like full head empty.
I thought I was the only
Probably.
one with an empty head.
Probably.
Back to you on that one.
Oh.
What?
I'll get
I'll
back
get
to you on that
to you
one.
on that one. If you have no questions.
No.
Oh?
Hold on.
Look at
Wait.
notes.
Wait some
I
more.
know now what I now know what like okay. So Suo's gonna be standing there like absolutely glaze-eyed because like she's like I don't know. There's nothing that I have to ask about. Like I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, I don't even know if there's any like this is all internal monologue of like panicking. She's like, I don't know, like there's nothing that I have to ask a god, the king of the Fae about. Like what could I possibly? And then it almost feels like it physically hits her. And actually probably what it was is that she reaches up to like kind of put her hands on her head like
And sees the
I
mask,
don't
feels
like
it.
feels the mask and realizes, do you know where my mother is?
The king looks at you and smiles. Yes. Yes, I do.
Ominous.
She's gonna like kind of brain load again. Because she was not expecting that answer. She was expecting her to be like
Absolutely not.
no. Can you tell me where she is? Can I find her?
The king reaches out and caresses your cheek once again, and you once again feel the warmth and comfort. And she whispers to you, when you leave this place and go back to where you were before, in the north, there is a cold, cold forest. It spans the entire north.
Why is it gotta be cold?
But up there, in the north, in the forest, in the center of all that cold, lies a warm little spot where a fox nestles. And she dreams, and she never stops dreaming, and she waits. She waits for her daughter to come home.
Suo, with those words in combination of the warm feeling, will probably have tears kind of well up in her eyes. As something that she never conceived as possible is like starting to open up to her as an opportunity.
You will reunite. I'm sure of it. I have faith.
And she's gonna like cover her, put her hand over top of the king's hand on her face, and just kind of close her eyes and nod and be like, okay.
sensing this moment as she kind of feels the symbol is getting a little bit weaker. It's only about a quarter left in the symbol. Wanting to leave you with a smile, you feel as she wants you to like smile and have a laugh before she's gone. The king kind of reaches out and she caresses your cheek again, and she says, "Oh, Suo, why aren't you a redhead?"
You are not prepared.
Yeah, she definitely giggles at that.
Buns will press the digitation her hair and get another different shade of red.
Closer. Not quite, though.
Oh god.
The king turns and kind of looks at Mace and he goes, "Well, I see you've made a discovery recently. One of who you are or who you were. And the future of somebody important to both of us, it seems."
Mace will drift out from underneath Vlad and stand. Tail swaying gently. Claws still out. I have.
And what do you plan to do about it? You see as the king straightens up, and for a moment, it was like you all were spending time with a warm and comforting friend. But as the king straightens out, you are suddenly aware of why they are royalty, and they have commanding, overwhelming presence.
Buns are teasing.
Yeah, I was gonna say out of
You're
instinct,
again.
Vladinsky would just bow.
Mace would stand steadfast with his crossing his arms behind him. Find her and follow the path that has been set before me.
You watch as she hovers there, and a staff made of light appears in her hand, and she slams it into the floor, and it makes an overwhelmingly loud noise in this room, and the room shakes. And the king looks upon you and says, "The person that you plan to take is of my kingdom. And if I deem you unworthy, take you will not."
His tail would start swaying a little faster.
Wait, does this feel like she's saying this to...
Ace.
Mace.
Okay.
Yeah, she is saying this to Mace in reference to
His comment.
his interaction before and his discoveries, assumed discoveries of his task and Buns.
Okay.
I am one of a chosen guard, and I shall follow my task to its conclusion, regardless of what stands in my way. And Mace is looking her dead in the eyes.
She opens her mouth, and her voice begins to echo loudly throughout the entire room. And Suo, you feel as though you are being called to action as the words leave her mouth. Friends you are, but at the end of the day, my people I protect, and my guard protects my people. If I deem you unworthy, friend or foe, down you shall be put. The staff begins to fade from her hand, and she turns and she looks at Buns. You get the idea that she cares not what your response was or would have been. She looks at Buns and she caresses Buns one more time, and she says, "Oh, sweet child of the Fae, know that your king is always here for you."
Yes, my king. Mace has always taken good care of me.
And I'm sure he continue to. But he does have a job, and a powerful person made a request. We shall see what happens. But I will fight the stars, the moon, the sun, life and death to keep my people safe.
Yes, my king.
As the circle
Suo's just gonna
begins,
like give Buns like a look of just like, ah, fuck.
as the circle begins to fade, you can see as the bottom of her dress and slowly up her body, she begins to fade out.
All for you, my king.
I know. It was so nice to see you all. Know that I'm always watching and that I'm here and that I will always do my best to care for you. And she looks over to Ham and she goes, "And you, sir, I expect a meal in my future."
It's already in the works.
Good.
I'm the best there is.
Yes. And for that, I will keep you safe also, because I dare not die before having the best meal of my life. As she fades out, and the necklace around your neck begins to glow familiar and warm again.
I just out of character, can I please? I just need to pause whenever you're ready.
Uh-huh.
You said this, and I had to physically bite my tongue.
Oh, because I messed up a phrase?
Nope. Always watching.
Oh my god.
Good stuff.
As she as she fades out, both the symbols drawn on Suo and the symbol on the bed also fade. And the sun begins to rise slowly outside the window.
Praise the sun.
Suo is a little starstruck right now.
As she disappears, you can hear the clanging and the servos types noises of Mace's fingers returning to normal. His rune beginning to slow and stop and
My king.
Dania kind of looks over everyone. That was Never a dull moment with you lot.
Yeah.
It's like every day you do something, you experience something that no mortal should ever experience.
Yeah. I really hope we don't have to fight anything anytime soon.
What could you possibly need to fight here in the kingdom?
I mean, it sounds like one another.
Buns just looks at Denier. When do we not fight something?
What are you talking about? There's nothing here that would need to be fought. As the door behind Denier flies open and a familiar, long, black-haired man stands in the doorway and he goes, "What's that book, boy?" And you're all greeted once again with Bahamut.
Hi, Bahamut.
Ah,
Were we
You
talking
just-
about fighting?
you just missed the party.
Oh, there was a party. Did it involve violence?
Almost.
I mean, I heard
Implied.
fighting.
Suo's gonna go over.
The only violence was implied.
Oh, well, that's boring. Never imply. Always do.
I did tackle a guy.
Yeah, these two almost grappled on the bed.
Not on the bed, on the floor.
He
Hey,
looks
wherever you
over.
want to grapple is none of my business.
He looks at Mace and Vlad and he goes, "Grappling on the bed. No judgment. Two metal men doing what they need to do."
Yeah, you construct those constructs.
I mean, I personally would have waited until there weren't people in the room, but like, you know, that's your business, I guess.
Mace will be utterly confused.
Absolutely baffled.
He kind of walks in and he puts one of his very large, like, palm of his hand almost encompasses a majority of the top of your head, Suo, and he puts it down and he goes, "Different red. Closer. Still not right. You look shocked. What's up? You want to fight about it?"
Suo's just gonna like, I just, met my king for the first time.
Not a good king if you've only met them once.
They're trapped. Not their fault.
Ah. That sounds boring. Did you want to fight or... Look, somebody said fighting and I just feel like I'm really missing out.
I mentioned that I hope we don't have to fight anything today. Because,
Oh.
we do that a lot.
That's boring. I was hoping for excitement. I heard fight and I was like, oh, a party, and I wasn't invited. Now I've just learned that it's like a book club. I don't know how to read.
Do you want to learn?
No, it was a more like a metaphor. I can read. I more of a metaphor of like I'm not interested anymore.
Oh, okay. Why'd you come by?
Well, it's day, and I was checking to see if you all made it right. Time Man said he dropped you off. Gently,
Well,
I hope.
If anyone was going to get us here on time, he would.
It was indeed.
I see your joke.
It was indeed Kronos that saved us from a rather frigid tundra to this place.
Did you try growing scales? Keeps me warm.
It didn't work in this case. Already have scales. They weren't thick enough.
Have you tried growing thicker scales?
Have not.
Got it. You should try.
At his mention of growing scales, Mace's tail would flick.
You're just a cat.
Look,
I mean, it kind of is, yeah.
He looks at Mace and he goes, "Well, you got like, for being generous, you got a fourth of the assignment done." You should work on the rest. Anyway, the sun has risen. It's early. The meeting isn't until later, but I assumed you might need food or something. You eat, correct, you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Got it.
They do, yes.
Well, if you'd like, we have a banquet hall. It's well stocked with as many meals as you could wish for.
I've got to study
Is
your
that how you get them?
culinary. And he leaves.
Wishing?
I'm sorry, say again. Small little hairy one.
Is that how you get the food? Wishing?
Oh, well, not really. I mean, you sit at the table and you say what you want, and then a glowing person brings you a plate with the food you requested.
Oh. I'm hungry. Can we go eat?
Well, anybody that wants food, follow me. And he just like reaches out and he grabs Daenerys' head in one hand like a basketball player and just begins to drag Daenerys as he walks away.
Hey!
Come on,
Once-
Bookman, you need to get big again. Eating will probably help.
I'm following my nose to the food because I have already left.
Following, trying to free Daenerys.
So what y'all are missing is the visual.
Is the what?
The visual is just actually over here, just like grabbing at the air.
Daenerys just like, why does this happen every time? I was the same when I was regular size. You did this to me. We got to stop doing this. Stop.
Let him go.
I didn't last time. I won't this time. Thank you so much for the raid.
Ray.
Yes.
As you all follow
It's
Daenerys,
time.
you all pass down that familiar hallway where a door opened to that steep staircase. But as you pass, there seems to be no door there. And those of you that went there, you have this feeling of you could have sworn that that spot was exactly where that door was, but now there's nothing there.
That's
Twins.
Buns is gonna go inspect the wall.
The wall is
Like-
perfectly flush as if there was nothing ever there.
I can't use knob. I don't have the energy.
Bahamut stops and turns. What is it you seek?
There was a door here.
He squints his eyes a little and looks at you, and he looks at the rest of your party. He goes, there has never been, and there will never be, a door there.
Oh. Maybe it was somewhere else.
You must be imagining things. And he begins to walk again.
When Buns comes back into range with walking with everyone, he will pick Buns up and kind of whisper in her ear, I have a feeling that is where the door is that we should not have opened.
Yeah, probably.
As you get led, and he pushes open these two large doors, and in the room is one of the longest dining tables you have ever seen. It feels as if there is a seat for anyone and everyone. You could fit almost an entire city in this room. And he goes, find a seat, request a meal.
Buns is doing the slash wow emote.
With the sparkles and
Mason-
everything.
Yes,
Yup.
from Mason's shoulder. And she's down into a chair, just the closest chair. I would like a big helping of my mom's porridge.
As you sit there in silence for a moment, you feel a warmth appear next to you as a human-shaped figure places down on the table a warm bowl of porridge.
Taste it. Does it taste like her mom's?
It tastes almost exactly the same, but it is missing that mom touch. But it's as close as somebody could get without actually being your mom.
Mom's porridge. Oh, nom 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 nom.
Oh, it's not perfect.
Yeah, that
Nom,
moment of
anyway.
disappointment. But it's
then
still
devour
good.
What is Suo's favorite meal? I don't know.
You can request anything. It doesn't have to be your favorite. Just whatever you
But I
feel.
mean, like, if you have the opportunity to have your favorite meal made, you're gonna ask for your favorite meal. Let's be real.
Yeah. Buns just went with her favorite breakfast.
Right.
And Muhammad said it could be anything. And it would appear. But it's not quite her mom's porridge. You know, she tries to add a little bit of like honey, and then she adds too much, and she's like, "No, fuck."
What is it?
You know,
She's
you
over
know.
here like, what is it? What is it missing?
Pretty much.
You kind of, Buns, as you're trying to
Suo's
figure out
gonna
what
be like,
it's,
what do you? Let me try it. I want to try what you have.
as you say those words, you too feel a familiar, like you feel a warmth of a person next to you as a glowing person puts a bowl of the same porridge in front of you.
She's gonna be
Buns
like,
will just
oh,
take a spoonful. Still not
nope,
right.
that's not right.
Like three little bears, Goldilocks and the three bears
Right.
right now.
As you are both kind of like biting it and trying to figure out what's missing, you hear a crunch from behind you as a person standing behind you goes, maple syrup. It's missing a tablespoon of maple syrup.
Buns looks over to see who that is.
You're met with a always looking tired, familiar face of Kronos.
Oh, thanks, Kronos. And Buns will try a tablespoon of maple syrup in it.
The only people I've heard sound that tired is Kronos and Buns.
Did it fix it?
Buns tries it.
Does it fix it?
Almost. It's way closer now.
Yeah, they can't they can't remake a mother's touch, unfortunately. We've been told this before.
Oh, okay. Thank you,
So they
Kronos.
can't deal in the metaphysical.
It's just
Yeah.
missing mom's love.
It's the equivalent of throwing ingredients together, but it misses that special touch.
Hmm.
Did
Suo's
you all
just gonna
have a
be like,
lovely night?
Sure. Lovely.
You slept?
Yep, did indeed.
I
Can confirm.
I did do some sleeping. That is correct.
That's nice. I'm glad
Like,
you guys slept. I hear that's good for people who sleep.
You
don't sleep?
clearly don't.
No, time
should
never
try.
stops.
Time doesn't stop when you sleep.
It probably does.
Kronos kind of looks over at you and then he looks down at the floor and he goes, when you're the embodiment of time, it might. To be fair, I don't even know what it's like to feel tired. I have so much energy all the time.
Suo's gonna do that smile thing again, where she's like,
Buzz,
"Uh-huh,
Buzz just
so
gonna
much
look at
energy,
Suo.
so much energy, so energetic. Oh my god!"
He looks at you and he just
Like,
kind of gives you like an attempted smile, but he still looks very tired and he goes, is this a part of friendship?
Yep,
uh-huh.
come sit and eat with us.
Okay. I've already ate, as he takes another bite out of the toasted bread in his hand.
Oof.
He would be. Is there any butter on it?
No.
Didn't think so.
You should have some of my mom's porridge.
I was gonna say he would be the runs out of the door anime protagonist with toast in mouth.
Yeah.
No thank you. Sugar will probably just make me bounce off the walls.
When you give time the zoomies.
Oh,
Would that literally
jeez.
make time fly?
That would. Yeah.
I mean, he can
Damn.
probably just fly because time can fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see as he kind of looks over and he goes, Bahamut, stop grabbing Denier like that. You know he hates that. Let him go. And Bahamut's just sitting over
Yeah.
there and he releases Denier, who like slowly floats and then sits on the table in a cross-legged position, and he goes, I hate it here. I hate it here so much.
Time's
Buns
like,
just
"Oh,
kind
no."
of shakes her hood. You know, you could always just
No.
hide.
No. I have to be here. Ugh. This is the worst part. They always say you agree to become a god because you get to read every book in existence. They don't tell you have to go to meetings and stuff.
Nominal cosmic powers, itty bitty living space.
Yeah, no, that's fine, but I'm required to be here. It's fine. It's part of the job. And also if I get it done faster with, then I won't have to stay longer. I can just leave after.
You don't want to be a god anymore?
Oh, no. I love being a god. I would never give up the eternal ability to read every piece of knowledge ever. I just don't want to go to the meetings.
Oh,
That's the
No,
only
that's
downside. They never tell you that you have to go to meetings. I mean, and he looks over at Suo and then kind of like glances between Suo and Mace, and he's like, you guys will get it. You'll have to attend meetings.
so wait.
She's just gonna kind of look at Mace like,
Oh, sorry. Not in a god way. But you guys are god guards. So they're required to attend. It's formality.
and Buns isn't.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I kind of worked out a deal that, I convinced them that, like, my people are very important to the ongoing success of knowledge and blah, 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 blah. You get a hall pass.
You know, for once, I don't think Buns would want a hall pass.
Unfortunately, I was trying to get myself a hall pass, and they said, well, you have guards.
Backfired, I see.
Yeah. It doesn't help that Bahamut likes it when I'm here because he likes to bully me because he says we're friends. And Bahamut goes, we are friends. Is this not friendship?
I mean,
Bullying is something that doesn't usually coincide with calling someone a friend.
Oh.
Just
Usually.
depends on if it's mutually agreed upon.
yeah.
I mean, I could grab him and grapple him like you did the other metal man, if that's a type of friendship you would prefer, Denier. And Denier goes, no, 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 no. I'll take the bullying. Ah, well, there you have it.
What you witnessed was in no correlation to friendship.
Hey, 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 hey. You don't have to be shy. It's okay. We accept all people here.
Insert confused face again.
Out of character. Insert. Trying to stifle laughter.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you guys have just seen the one room, yes? Is there any parts of the realm that you'd like to see? We have a great many things. Is there anything you need, want? Library? Well, we have one, although it's not nearly as impressive as this nerd's.
Oh.
Hey, that was actually a compliment.
Yeah, it was a compliment. See, friendship. Engineer goes, I'll take it. I'll take it. Although my library is way better than this library, I'm just saying, like, the book collection here is mediocre at best.
Oh.
That is what he said, yes.
Yeah, I know. I just like to reiterate that mine's better.
Shame you can't get there right now.
Don't remind me. I miss them so much.
We'll find it.
Ugh,
We do
Bugs, you're
need
gonna
to
have such a
find
good
them,
time
yes.
there. There's so many books. There's books on everything.
Technically, she was having a good time there, and then your bully of an owl showed up.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't my owl, to be fair.
Don't believe that was the same thing we're looking for. That was a different
No.
library.
That was the Great Library. The Great Library holds all information on people, lives, and stuff like that. My library holds all information. Anything that was, is, or will be information gathered, truths, facts, fictions, all of that is held in my library.
Except the books even you've not read.
So,
Munching on
Suo's gonna
ham.
be Suo with porridge halfway to her mouth as you're explaining this, looks at Denier and goes, "This entire time I thought we were talking about the owl library."
It seems there are
Because
3
out of character,
libraries in
this
question.
entire time I thought we were talking about
No,
the
there was
owl
2. There was in fact 2.
Denier kind of floats over and pats Sue on the head, and he goes, "It's okay. The color's wrong, so maybe you just missed some stuff too."
Pat, it's okay. You've been going through a lot.
There seems to be, if I am correct, 3 libraries in question here, actually. One here, one in Denier's tower, and then the Great One.
The Great? Yeah, well, this is the library of the kingdom. This is life's library, if you will. The books here are not of great interest to me. They all bore me deeply. They mostly delve into the ideas of life itself, and
You've read all of them?
of course I've read all of them.
Do any of them contain where to get life?
Well, no, because, I mean, maybe a journal, but they wouldn't keep life's journal in the library.
Do any of them contain information on my brothers?
Ah, the Great Guard 3. Yes, that would be in the library.
See? In
Hmm?
in your library, are there instructions on how to free the king?
I couldn't say. We were all trapped before then.
Um,
I lost access to the library before any of that happened. Assumedly, though, if we had to do a little bit of detective work and maybe reasoning, I was probably locked away early due to the idea that all information ends up in my library. So, if the information exists to unlock these, assumedly they could be found in my library. Wouldn't want the person with the answers to be able to get them.
That makes sense.
You hear Bahamut, who is now chewing on just a giant leg of meat, and he looks over and he goes, "It's a pretty big library. I can really spread my wings out in there. It's pretty big."
Do you know where it's at, Bahamut?
No, that thing moves all the time. Also, he told me that I wasn't allowed in there, so I kind of just stopped keeping track of it.
That is fair.
I only destroyed 1 or 2. And Denier looks and goes, 1,000. 1,000. 1 or 2,000.
Could you find it if you wanted to?
Bahamut looks at you and goes, maybe, but it's pretty under lock and key. You should be able to find it.
And you're talking about the Great Library, not Denier's library.
No, I
What?
believe she's asking about Denier's library, correct?
Just making sure, because we've had some confusion in the past.
Are you not his guard?
I am.
Well, then why don't you find it?
Because I don't know how.
I was gonna say, she's supposed to magically have the ability to find it now?
Denier looks at her and goes, not yet. Assumedly soon, maybe. There's a certain point in every person, every contract or guardian or whichever you'd like to call it, in which their resources expand. You just simply haven't reached that yet, which is why it would still benefit us to find one of the others if we could.
Okay.
But
I
there's a
don't know how.
chance that in time you'll be able to sense its presence.
So, Bahamut, if you're Denier's friend, why don't you help him find his library?
One, I don't think he'd want me to. You know, book incident. 2, if I spent all my time looking for his library, then who would protect the wilds?
Well, if you find it, you can let us know, right? Like, if you're
If I
while
see
you're
it
out
in the
protecting-
wilds, I will.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, of course. To be
Anything
fair,
for our
part of
friend,
the
right?
wilds are, of course. Part of the wilds are protected by different rulers and factions and things. So, not all of them I have to watch, but I'll send out a notice. Maybe they'll tell me a thing or two.
Buns just looks at Denier and just kind of shrugs, like, trying?
Any
Denier looks at her
assistance
and goes, 2,000. 2,000 bucks he broke.
Buns just kind of whispers, we don't have to let him in.
Yeah, look at him. He's not asking.
Any assistance in the matter is appreciated, Bahamut.
Yeah.
Kronos just takes another bite out of his toast and goes, I think it's interesting that nobody ever asks me to help find stuff.
You know, I was gonna ask you
It's
next.
probably because you seem so busy all the time.
I mean, I am busy. Denier goes, we also don't ask because you always tell us where it is, not when. The amount of times I've asked you where something is and you've sent me to an old Colosseum in Rome, and then I ask you, oh, hey, it's not here like you said it was. And you say, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you meant 80. Nobody ever means AD, Kronos. Some people might.
I would be very interested to learn of my brothers and maybe get a glimpse into what our collective assignments were.
Bahamut's chewing and he goes, You should eat first.
I don't
I'm like
eat.
working on my second leg of ham.
You don't eat?
I know it's the greatest tragedy.
Have you? You don't eat?
I don't
How
have
do
the
you-
I don't have the capacity to.
He kind of looks at you and then he looks at your tail and he goes, Is that made of metal too?
It is not.
How does that thing not shrivel up? You're getting no sustenance.
Faye.
Ugh, Fae stuff. God, it never makes sense to me. A prankster always coming around. Oh, God. It's quiet
am-
here without her, though.
I am made up of metallic and organic materials. I garner all of my energy from an arcane core that the Lifebinder
Mm-hmm.
bestowed
Mhm.
upon me.
He shakes
We
his
gotta
head.
get you some food.
He shakes his head and he goes, Sorry, I don't speak nerd.
Yeah.
Should have expected that answer.
I appreciate you sharing, though.
I wonder if I could find something that even you could eat. We'll have to consult the book.
Have you tried feeding him, like, metal?
Not yet. I generally offer him the food that I make everyone else out of a common courtesy, although it does go uneaten.
I mean, he does have, like, a lizard tail. Maybe he eats lizards.
They seem to have a problem with eating sentient things.
The food
Wait.
that you cook and provide for the group does go within, but it does not get
But do you?
tasted.
You can't taste it.
Okay, that's a different problem. I'll have to approach this from a different solution. Maybe I can work
You
on
know
that while
what?
I'm studying metaphysical ingredients.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. I know. We could just ask the builder. He could build you taste buds. We could ask the builder. Denier. I'm gonna go ask the builder. And Denier goes, please don't do that. Please don't ask him to do it. Please.
I would
And
like
then
to hear
Bahamut
about
just
the
runs
builder.
out.
I chase after him. Because this is now a situation in which a person can have the sustenance and the supreme experience of actually getting to taste food.
Should we follow them?
No, we should
Okay.
not. D floats over to Mace. Don't let him touch you. Don't let him touch you. I don't know what'll happen to you. You might get improved. You might become something completely different, Metal Man.
He might break you.
Oh, he wouldn't break you. It's not breaking I worry about. I worry about what you'll become.
I have no
So
intentions
does he
of
sound?
taking. I have no intentions of allowing any modifications to the Lifebinder's design.
Spoken like a true Borg.
Yes, Em?
I was gonna say, does D sound like what is it? Like a madman, basically like clutching at somebody's like the collar, just like, don't let him do it, man! Don't let him do it!
Very much so, yes.
Okay, cool. glad I was getting the vibe.
The bays, not the bays. Not the builder. Bob, no.
I hate that you just did that.
You're welcome.
I'm sure it's fine. I mean, he's probably really busy. It's probably fine. And like nothing is bad and everything's good and you'll be fine. Everything's fine. Everything's great. You're fine. Right? You're fine. He's just like madly like tapping at like he's like instead of caressing your face, he's just like taking his hands and like tapping all over your head as if he's like trying to remember like with his hands what your face feels like, Mace.
My face has never changed. What are you doing?
You don't understand. She's gonna mess you up, dude. She's gonna mess you up, dude. I just want to remember you as you are now.
D, it's
What?
okay. It's gonna be okay. Come here and have some porridge.
You don't understand. She's gonna mess him up, man.
No.
And then she's probably gonna mess her up. He points at Suo.
It'll never be the right state of red again.
She's gonna mess you up different. You're into ladies, right? You're not ready. You're not ready, Suo. Close your eyes. Close your eyes, Suo. Don't look at her.
Oh
The
no.
only-
Interesting.
The only thing
Oh no.
that I could fathom, and he pulls the goggles up, changing out my lenses for these, so I don't have to wear this thing.
Oh God, he's already falling for it, and she's not even here. Oh God, Suo, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Please don't. Just keep them closed, Suo. Don't open them. Don't open them. It's not safe. Nothing's safe. This world is a terrible place, Suo. It's a terrible place. Nobody's safe here.
Come here,
Suo's
D.
about to be
Come
like,
here, D.
oh no, she's hot.
Come here, D. It's
Uh,
okay.
You hear some heavy boots approaching the room, and the doors fling open.
Already hot.
As a
I
a
heard that.
tall, muscular woman walks in and raises some goggles. Her hair is cut short and shaggy, the sides shaved. It's a dirty blonde, but it's also dirty with like what looks to be maybe some like oil and other dirts from things. And she drops a giant wrench down on the table. It makes a very loud thud, being very heavy, and she adjusts the tool belt around her waist, and she looks over and she goes, "Which one of you's a metal man?"
We have two.
Immediately folds.
I was
I'm
about
pointing
to
at both
say
of
I would imagine Valinsky and Mace raise their hand.
I followed to retrieve this lady. So I'm like, it's them two.
It's them too?
But that one can taste. We're working on the other one.
Ah. I hear you can't taste, and that you're a metal man and you're robot parts, huh?
It's my robot. Please leave him the way he is.
I am, and his head just tilts.
She kind of walks over, each step a loud boot thudding on the ground. As she reaches over, and she kind of like, she's actually eye to eye with Mace because she's so tall and muscular. The size comparison is pretty astonishing. As she looks you in the eye and she goes, "You were crafted by... Ah, you're not just any robot. You're that robot."
Mother's Private 3.
Yeah, I remember you. Anyway, you want to taste things or what?
No, I would like to see better. And he
You want to see better?
takes off the goggles.
Mm.
Would you be able to replace or incorporate the magic in these lenses with mine?
You want me to replace your eyes with some magic lenses? Yeah, I could probably do that. When's the last time somebody fixed you up?
Me when I found him.
Are you a mechanic?
No, I'm a wizard.
This is the equivalent of asking when was your last oil change, and the person
Yeah.
says, Oil change? What's that?
You're a wizard. What about you, other metal man? What are you?
Skeleton.
Our
Skeleton,
friend.
huh? You're pretty big for a skeleton. She kind of eyes Vlad.
If you're talking, you're muted, Vlad.
Oh, yep. Sorry, forgot about my voice there. Couldn't use it for a second.
Forgot about my voice.
I don't think there's anything you can fix with me. It's more armor than it is a machine. If you
She walks over to you and she like reaches out and she kind of like punches your shoulder piece with a pretty intense force that it almost makes you take a couple steps back, and she goes, it's pretty solid. Well crafted. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty solid stuff you got there. Looks like you take good care of it too.
Thank you. As a soldier, I like to take pride in my armor, for my armor is quite literally my life.
I do enjoy making stuff for soldiers because they care the most. They take the best
Okay,
care of my items. Good stuff. Anyway, Pothead over there, he's a cook. I kind of got that from the special armor he's wearing.
Made it myself.
She kind of walks over and she puts one of her hands down on the table and leans down and looks at Suo because Suo's kind of been leaning forward this whole time. And she goes, "What about you, Ginger? What's your deal?"
I'm a kitsune?
Fox lady. You feisty like them too? And Denier kind of just goes, "Stop it, she's already dead."
Break time.
No.
You just doing other things like that?
Oh, you're just doing other things while you play?
Yeah.
I think she
broken.
actually is dead.
Shut up. Shut up. Very poor timing of my husband. Shut up. What was the question?
She
Are you
asked.
foxy like them too?
No, she said, "Are
No,
you
feisty.
feisty like them
Feisty, even.
kitsunes?"
She's gonna like. She's gonna like look around like, I don't know, am I? Like.
Well, she's the only one I've ever met besides a really nice one. So
Is she
maybe?
feisty?
Yeah.
She kind of leans closer and looks you in the eyes, and she goes, "I mean, we could find out, I guess."
Why is it that everybody wants to fight you when they meet you? Or wonder why you're not a redhead?
She kind of stands up and she looks at him and she goes, "I never said anything about fighting."
Nah, it's just a general thing. Most things want to fight us.
Denier kind of floats up and stands on Suo's head to get like an attempt to get eye to eye with this lady. And he goes, "Hey, you leave this kitsune alone. She's not one of your toys. You stop it. You cut it out. I know how you work. Also, leave Mace alone. Look at him. He's perfect the way he is. Don't break him. Please don't break him. You break so many things. Please don't break him."
Oh, while we're at it, can you build him back to his normal size?
Builds him back to his normal size. Is he not normal size?
Mace would just look at Ham. I don't think that is how that works.
Man, we don't even know where we're at. I just watched a door and a window and a bed experience magical things. What is
I mean,
even
I
up
don't need
anymore?
to know. I don't need to know what kind of magic happens in your bed.
It was in our bed. Anyway, yeah, that one, he's extra small.
Oh, you're talking about Denier?
Yeah.
He is roughly 1/6 his normal height. Yes.
A little bit
She
more than that.
leans. She leans forward and looks at Denier, and she starts squinting, and she goes, "Are you sure he's shorter than normal? Isn't this how he always is?" And Denier just falls off of Suo's head and falls into her lap, and he goes, "Never mind, I'm dead.
Wow.
Remember me as I was, not in this form, but as a reasonably
So,
sized man."
originally, he was about
Shade.
Points at Suo.
It was about Suo's height. And right now he can be held by Buns.
Bunch picks up Denier and just kind of
To give you an idea of how it's changed.
comforts him as best she can.
He kind of just lays limp in your arms. "I never recover from these meetings. I fear that this may be the last meeting I ever attend."
Well, then I guess you better pick your successor.
That's too much work. Who's going to take care of books the way I take care of books? God damn it.
Yeah, it's probably how the conversation goes each time.
And Bahamut goes, "It is. He threatens to die every time."
I get the same way when I'm struggling with a recipe. You just gotta push through, Denier. You can do it.
You remind me of a guy. He used to be a cook too. Anyway,
If he's like this
So I was
every
just
time,
gonna side eye
don't you think
Buns
there's a
with
common
that comment.
denominator to look into?
huh? Sorry, what? Repeat that?
If he's like this every time, don't you think there's a common denominator to look into?
He kind of looks at you and squints a little bit as if he's deep in thought, and he goes, "Oh my god, you're right. These chairs aren't comfortable. I never noticed that before."
Mace just dumbfounded.
The other end of the hall, you all hear a loud bang as two doors violently swing open.
Who's that? Do we have to fight them?
Denier sits up and stands up straight, and the rest of them kind of look and stand up straight. In walks a woman with long brown hair and a dress that flows elegantly. As she reaches past the doorway and walks in, she turns, and you all feel an overwhelming presence.
Does Mace recognize her?
No.
Okay.
She looks across the table and she sees everybody sitting and she goes, "I'm sure you're aware, but you know, my husband doesn't show up to these things, so I guess you're just stuck again with me. We can talk about it over dinner, I'm sure." And she walks over and she goes, "Ah, hello, people.
So
I've
you
heard
said
much about you."
an overwhelming feeling. An overwhelming feeling of what emotion?
It's like an overwhelming feeling that it's a mixture of things. She gives this aura of a very strong woman. Her black dress kind of flowing, her hair bouncing with every step, her figure perfectly elegant, beautiful in every step she takes. You're feeling such a mixture of emotions between awe, excitement, a little bit of fear, and there's something just on the back of your mind, a feeling that you can't quite process just yet. As she approaches and she goes, "Ah, mortals, how I love to see you outside of my realm."
Can I roll something to see if I can figure out who this is?
You can roll a religion or a religion or an arcana.
Can I vibe check
Damn it!
against the ingredient that I've received and see if the vibe is similar?
You can vibe check her for against the ingredients you've collected and seen.
Why is my inside so very bad? Alright, let's see. So +3. That's a 10. 7
It's
plus
very
3.
It's very familiar, and you start to kind of connect the pieces just a little bit, but you can't. There's something missing from you, like finally putting those pieces together. Denier, who stands on the table in between all of you, he looks and he gives a little. I think you guys should show respect, please. It's probably important, especially for mortals.
Buns will stand and curtsy like she did to her king.
Suo will kind of awkwardly do the same.
It's so nice to see you all, especially before your time. One day you all will become my precious children, and I will care for you like I do all. And Bahamut goes, let's not talk about that now, please. It makes mortals uncomfortable when you do that. And she goes, yes, I'm sorry. Let me introduce myself. You must not know who I am. Hi, it is me. I am your future queen, Persephone. And that's where we'll end.
Uh-huh. The wife of Hades.
Had a feeling.
So did I.
That is where we will end this session of Awooters Does DnD. Did everybody have a good time? What? What? What are you? What?
Always.
Noises? I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing weird. Everything's fine.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So we all had a good time. Everything was great. Everything was fantastic. Let me spin a wheel real quick. I got to figure out who's to blame. Let's see. Oh, I get to spin again because it says myself. Just kidding. It's never me. One more spin. Hold on. This is important, guys. We got to figure out who's to blame.
Uh-huh.
And the answer is... it's closer to this one. Ham, it's all your fault. Good job. Congratulations. You're the winner of the blame game.
So
And
we're
as the
blaming-
winner of the blame game, you get to tell people where they can find you on the internet.
You can find me mostly in Discord, although I do stream on occasion at my Twitch channel, little_Foxy, as it is spelled on screen, and in the shoutout command that you may or may not see in a minute.
I'm sure somebody will type that. Hold on. We're just gonna make my life easier. Here we go. We're spinning the wheel. Who's to blame next? The answer is Buns. Buns, it's all your fault. Now tell people where they can find you on the internet.
You can generally find me in the Discord, poking around in people's streams, and occasionally, infrequently, streaming on my own channel, Ms_5th, here on the Twitch. But more often, you can find me throwing things at Yogoki.
Always a good time. Always a good time. Speaking of Yogoki, it's also your fault. Where can people find you on the internet?
Too many places. I'm here on Twitch, over on YouTube, on TikTok and Instagram. And yeah, there's Yagoki Wolf in all of those locations.
And we got a 50-50 shot. Whose fault will it be next? Congratulations. The sun shines on you, and it's still your fault. Vlad, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, if I'm not too busy, stuck outside staring at the bright, glorious sun, screaming at the top of my lungs, praise the sun! Usually find me lurking in the Awooters Discord if I'm not in one of the stream teams chats, lurking in there, also screaming praise the sun.
Very nice, very nice. And last but not least, the King's Guard herself. Sue, where can people find you on the internet? It's your fault, by the way.
So the places where it's my fault is twitch.tv/emredfeather. That's where I'm the most at fault. But I can also be at fault on like, TikTok, Instagram, things like that.
That's
And
nice.
then
That's very nice.
Atlas, it's also your fault. Where can people find you on the internet?
Hi, you can find me blaming everyone for things that are probably definitely my fault at twitch.tv/AtlasRiven. You can also find me blaming people for things that are definitely my fault over at the Discord, the Awooters Discord, which you can use this link for. Bam, right there. So you can find me blaming people there also. And in case you're wondering, it's actually Ross_the_Bear's fault. So you're welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. Short little announcement. We won't be having Wanderhome or D&D next week because we will be out of town visiting some probably crazy people. They're really crazy. They're probably going to there's a chance that we might get murdered by them, but we're hoping for the best. So we'll be out of town. I mean, it's her fault, so guess.
That works out.
Let's
Might
see
actually
who
be my fault.
We have a
it
J
might
or a Cookie
actually.
or a Tessu.
Oh, I was about to say we also have a Tessu. Let's raid a mod for what? We're raiding a mod.
What?
We're gonna
Wow.
Whoa, that never happens.
I was about to say we don't really get to raid mods that often. But we're gonna go raid our good mod, not best mod NA, but like second best mod NA. Because well, Peanut is
Peanut?
not best mod NA because she's best Peanut.
Ah,
is
got
true.
it.
Okay,
Okay,
got it,
that's it. That works
Yeah,
out.
you can't really beat that category. Also,
Yeah.
if I tried to, you saw what she did to Mr. Peanut. So Super Bowl commercial. It was all caught on tape. She made it look like an accident. You didn't hear that from me. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time on Awooters Does D&D. Please don't tell Peanut that I told you what she did. I gotta go. Bye.
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 I can't reach the computer because it's all the way over there and my team
Oh,
share
God.
broke. So we're just gonna keep yelling until I hit the raid button. Wow.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Can you go hit
Oh,
the
great.
stop end stream button?